Hi everyone, I'm Tera Lynn, the young adult author of Oh My Gods and Forgive My Sins, and today I'm going to talk to you about character collages. The reason I started making character collages is because I like to be a seat-of-the-pants writer and just dive into a story, and that usually works for me for about 50 pages at the most. And I get to a point where I get stuck and I don't know how to go forward, and all I want to do is go shopping, and I needed to find a way to get over that hump. And because I am a very visual person and my books are character driven, I decided to make collages of my characters, and that's usually how I wind up getting unstuck and moving forward in my story. So the supplies that you'll need if you're going to make a collage for your characters, of course, some plain white printer paper, a pair of useful and colorful scissors, and a glue stick. And then, of course, you need the resources to get the images for your collages, which is going to be catalogs or home magazines to find fun things like, maybe your character is the type who would hang out on a hammock for an afternoon. Lucky Magazine is really good because they focus on shopping, so they focus on the individual objects and give you lots of little things to cut out. And then, because for some reason guys are really hard to find in women's magazines, I always pick up the People magazine special issues like 50 Most Amazing Bodies or Sexiest Man Alive, because they'll have a lot of pictures of different guys in there. When I go through the magazines looking for pictures to make my collages, I usually start by looking for kind of like the big picture background canvas kind of ones that are going to fill up a lot of the white space, whether it's with a picture or with a pretty graphic like this ad. It's going to cover up the plain white of the paper. Of course, the primary thing I'm looking for are models or actresses who look or represent my character in some way, or who look like they're experiencing a moment that my character would experience, like this very natural breezy walk through the forest. I'm looking for objects that my characters might use, like if I have a main character who would carry this green purse, or maybe a villainess who would wear this bandeau swimsuit. I'm also looking for objects that my character might necessarily not wear or use, but that represents them. My mermaid character is a complete failure at applying makeup, but if she could, she would totally buy this eyeshadow with the little dolphins on it. So I would throw that into her collage. And the final thing I look for is words and letters that I can either chop up, like ransom style, big letters like this, to spell out their name or something about them, or a word that actually relates to them or their story. So I take my blank piece of paper, I cover it first with the big picture image to fill up a lot of the canvas, and then I start layering on the individual objects, and then finally at the end the ransom letters. And I'm going to show you an example from the characters from my upcoming trilogy, and these are three girls who are triplet descendants of the Gorgon Medusa, and even though they are identical sisters, you can tell kind of instantly that they are very different girls. The first girl is Grace, and she's kind of like the girly sweet one, with lots of pink and bright colors. Gretchen is the one who is already hunting monsters. She's the kick-butt girl who's wearing combat boots and leather jackets and keeps a dagger in her boot. Then there's Greer, the third sister, who comes from a wealthy family. She's a little snobby. She likes elegant things. And I think you can tell from those three collages that they are extraordinarily different girls. And I find when I get stuck and I go into that depth to find out more visually who my characters are, that's usually where I get unstuck and can figure out how to go forward and know who they are without having to write their entire life history. So I find it useful. I hope you will too. If you want to see more, I have them on my website on the Fun Stuff page, which is also a nice bonus to have for fans. So I hope you have fun making collages.